Hey, what's up, Internet World? I'm L Director, and welcome to L Director Vision. Today, what I wanted to do is give you guys kind of a look at my workflow when it comes to video and film production. I've produced 3 feature-length films. I've got 2 of them here right with me, Leap and Leap Rise of the Beast. You can find both of these on my YouTube channel. I highly recommend the second one. I don't really recommend this one too much. We shot this one for $200, this one for $2,000. If you want to see what a $2,000 movie can look like, go check this out. Really good. It's got some cool stuff in it, parkour, lots of fun stuff like that. So, plug aside, I want to show you guys the workflow that I've adopted now. Workflows are an interesting thing because they're constantly changing as technology changes and stuff like that as well. We shot Rise of the Beast with this camera right now, the Canon T2i, and it was the first feature film completed with this camera using just the kit lens at the time. This lens right here. I've since upgraded and have better lenses for it. Love the Canon T2i, highly recommend it. It's an APS-C sensor, which is great because you're getting the same size film as what a movie is. People out there will say, oh, you have to go full frame. No, full frame is good if you're shooting stills and you want the full film of a still camera, then you get a full frame DSLR. If you're wanting to emulate movies, get an APS-C sensor because the image chip is the same size. It's going to respond the same to light and depth of field and all that good crazy stuff that we'll talk about in other L Director Vision episodes here. What I'm going to do eventually is put together like a little film school for you guys. We'll stick it up on the channel here for free for you guys to check out. But for right now, this is just an overview of my workflow. As I said, it's always changing, but this is what I'm currently doing. So with that said, let's get started. First thing I gotta do when I'm making a video is I plan it out on paper, actually. Pen and paper, man. It's the best way to go. Keeper, hey, come here. Come here. Come here. This is Keeper. I don't know if you guys can see her. Say, hi, Keeper. Hi, Keeper. Okay, go lay down. You may recognize her from my Surviving the Wild series. Down. Good girl. So, I always plan things out with pen and paper because it allows me to chart things out and do diagrams and that sort of thing. I've even planned out today's video on pen and paper as well. For the sake of demonstrating a workflow today, we're going to be using a music video as an example. I'm going to be very soon doing a music video for my friend Laura, and a couple weeks ago I went out to visit her, and we shot some test footage of location scouting and stuff like that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some of that test footage, cut it together with the music, and do some effects and grading and show you guys how the whole thing works. So for the music video, I've got a list here of stuff I was working on my way back from Vanuatu. I was planning out, what songs do we want to use, where we're going to shoot it, what kind of shots to do, what are some different ideas for the story of the music video, that kind of stuff. So I always plot it out on pen and paper first. Once I've got that planned out, then, jump over here so I can see my notes, I like to go straight into the software. So let's go and launch Adobe Story. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by Adobe in any way, shape, or form, but I love their software now. I am using just complete Adobe products for most of my workflow. It used to not be that way. I used to be a Sony Vegas guy, editing in Vegas, and then doing the visual effects and After Effects, but now I do it all in Adobe. So here we go. This is Adobe Story. It is a screenwriter. It's free if you use the online version. If you want to be able to download the application to use offline, subscribe to the Creative Cloud. You'll get all the other Adobe software as well as this right here. And so let's go and start a new project. We will go up here to Projects and hit the drop down arrow right here. Go New Project. I'm going to call this one L Director Vision, just like I've got over here already down on this side, but we'll see if it lets me do it. It's already taken. We'll call it L Director Vision 2. And it's going to go ahead and create a project. And what's cool about the projects is that you can have different documents within that project. So as you can see here, I've got a list of my different projects off to the left. L Director Vision 2, let's create a new document in here. And we'll make this a, let's go to Research. And I hit Create. And then I've got my document here. So we'll call this Show Ideas. I need to do a new Surviving the Wild, the winter episode. It is snowing outside now, so I'll be able to do that very soon. I want to do a firearm review. And, oh, I've got the film school I need to do as well. So I can start organizing my ideas here now and copying what I've done on paper and doing it in more organized form now in Adobe Story. Once you get your outline set up here in Story, go back to my projects, and I would create a new script. So I go New, Film Script, hit Create. And what it's doing now is it's actually giving me a script document to work on. I have my scenes laid out here, and I can start typing, exterior, wilderness, day. El director attempts to start fire. Boom. And you're all set. Now you can also have different documents from different projects open at the same time as well. Check this out. We'll go into projects. I can go up into Leap 3. We'll pull up the script for that so you get a little sneak peek of what Leap Revelation is going to look like here. And bada boom. So now you can see I've got all these scenes over here off to the side. These little color indicators indicate what characters are in the scenes. And then you've got the script over here. One of the things I really like about Adobe Story is it gives me an actual runtime of the movie as we go. So it's a 91-page script. It's 92 pages with the title page, but 91 pages. And I could shoot down to the bottom and tells me my movie's going to be probably about 1 hour and 23 minutes, roughly. And I think that's probably a pretty good estimate. So I obviously need to expand on the script a little bit more, make it a little bit longer to pad it out a bit and stuff like that. So Adobe Story is awesome. Now there are other free screenwriters out there. You can use Celtx, that's the other big one, CELTX. I used it for a couple of years. I hate it. I can't stand it. It's become too bloated. It can do scheduling and stuff, but you know what? So can Adobe Story. You can do all your scheduling here. And because it's an Adobe product, it's going to fit in with the rest of your workflow a lot better as well. There's Final Draft. That's a paid piece of software. I've used that for a couple years as well. Once I got sick of Celtx, I went back to Final Draft. And love Final Draft. Final Draft is great, but it costs money. Then there's one called Trelby, Trelby. It's Linux and Windows only right now. I believe they have a Mac port coming out for it. And Trelby's great. My nickname for Trelby is Final Draft Free. I actually finished writing Leap 3 in Trelby. And then when I subscribed to the Creative Cloud, I brought everything over into Adobe Story afterwards. So again, do what you want to do, but I recommend Adobe Story. That's what I'm personally using right now for my stuff. So after you get the script finished and you're good with that, then you got to go out and shoot the movie. And for the sake of this being a workflow overview, we're not going to go into all the details, but I do want to make a couple quick notes here. I do recommend the DSLRs like I'm shooting this with. I love DSLRs, but if you do it, you need to make sure that you get that white balance nailed. There are so many YouTube videos I see on the internet, filmmaking how-to videos by filmmakers, and they're shooting it with their SLR, and like everything's super orange or everything's super cold. They can't get that white balance just right. So get a Canon DSLR, use Magic Lantern, it makes your white balance a lot easier. So moving on here, you get your movie shot, we put it on an SD card, and what's so cool is you take your SD card, you insert it into the laptop, boom, and we're good to go to start dumping footage here. So I'm going to close out Adobe Story, and we're going to launch the central hub of production for me, which is Adobe Bridge. Now, Adobe does have a piece of software that you can use for ingest and such like that called Prelude. I've tried it. I don't like it. And the reason being is Prelude seems like it's designed for bigger film sets where you have your camera guy and then your AC takes the card out of the camera, gives it to a DIT, and then the DIT loads the footage, maybe does a rough cut, and then that gets sent over to the editor later on who would be using Premiere at that point. And so it's too bulky and too cumbersome for what I'm trying to do. Again, if I had that kind of a workflow, I'm sure it'd work great. But when I'm the camera guy and I'm the editor, I just want to get going and start editing, and I want to ingest as painlessly as possible. So I'm going to show you how to do that using Adobe Bridge. Check this out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go find our card that we just inserted right here at EOS Digital. And I have some footage here from the Location Scout with Laura. And you can see the footage down here, but it's all these Canon names, MVI, 1335 and all this stuff. So I'm just going to select the footage, and then you go up to Tools, Batch Rename, or you can go Control-Shift-R. And then this is what's really great. You can either like save up a preset, which I've got one here for Laura Scout, or we can make a new one. So we're just going to make a new one. I'm going to have a text tag first, and down here at the bottom it tells you what it's going to look like. So we're going to call this Laura Scout, and I'm going to put a hyphen and then sequence number, and we'll start the sequence number at 1. Boom, just like that. So now it says Laura Scout 1. And actually, I probably don't even need this text tag right here. Let's go and pull that out and see how that looks. Yeah, that's a lot better. So you can customize your how your shots are going to be named. Now, if I was shooting a feature film right now, I would do this a little bit differently. I would have it probably have the date in there or what day of shooting it was, something along those lines. Usually when I shoot a feature, I organize my footage by shoot days because I'm running camera and I'm editing. It's a lot easier for me to remember what day we were shooting stuff rather than the date we were shooting stuff. Make sense? So I'd say day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on for however long the shoot goes for. So we got that, and we will now go copy to other folder, hit browse, and I'm going to find a spot on my external hard drive to stick this. I want to stick it here in video footage, Laura's video, and I've got a folder called Scout already. We'll go and create a new one in here called Scout Demo. Hit OK, and hit rename. And then Adobe Bridge goes to work. It's now copying my stuff to the external hard drive and renaming it in the process. And you saw how quick this was to do. It took just a few clicks. So much simpler than Prelude. Prelude's got timelines and things you got to worry about, and then you like send it over to Premiere from there. And honestly, Prelude's a big headache to me. It's not where I need it to be, but I can see where it would definitely be useful for a bigger production. But for your one-man show, Bridge is the way to go. All right, now that Bridge is done transferring footage, we'll go and fire up Adobe Premiere. Premiere Pro CC. Okay, here we go. And I can either open a previously done video or, whatever. So we're going to go and just open up LoraVid Test, which is one I was already working on earlier today. And we'll get this fired up and we'll just show you just how quick and easy this is to do here. Now, my interface here is not going to look like your interface because I've customized it after spending 10 years editing with Vegas. That's the way I like to work. And so my interface is set up to reflect that. But what's so cool is that you can do it however you want. If you want to keep it as a Premiere layout, you can do that. If you're a Final Cut guy, set it up like Final Cut. If you're a Vegas guy, you set it up like Vegas. You can remap all your keyboard shortcuts and everything. But this is our footage here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. Oh, that's all you get. I only have permission to use 15 seconds of music, so sorry. If you want to hear more of Laura's music, go to laurawilliamsmusic.com. I've got the link in the description. Check out her stuff. She's a very talented artist, and it's got a lot of great music on her website for you guys to get. I think she's got 3 CDs out right now. Highly recommend them all. So here we go. This is, like I said, just test footage as we were location scouting, and you've got just a basic timeline. You can ingest your footage up here from wherever we sent it. So I go Laura's video, Scout demo. Here's all of our video. As you can see, it's been renamed Laura Scout 001, 006, however it is. Select it all, hit open. It brings it here into Premiere, and you're all set to start editing. And I'm not going to go into editing in this video, but I'm just showing you a basic workflow. From here, we can start sending things to the different Adobe products. See, Premiere becomes like our central hub. And so if I want to do, like on this shot here, all the snow has been added in After Effects, and so we'll show you how to do that here on this other shot real quick. We'll take this one, just right-click on the video, scroll down because I'm on a laptop, and go Replace with After Effects Composition. It's launching After Effects automatically for me and bringing my cut straight into AE. This is really cool. So boom, here we go. After Effects is all set up, ready to go. We've got the shot, and so we'll find a nice frame right here. She's walking along, maybe about like that. Cool. And let's just go ahead and we'll add the snow on here. We'll go New, Layer, Adjustment Layer, and we'll type snow in the effects, find snowfall. Come on. Using a new mouse. There we go, and you can't see it, so let's turn this down to like 3000, and we'll jack the size up as high as we can, which is stuck at 15. And now, you can see we've got snow coming down in the scene. It's as simple as that. Now, so we've done our quick and special effect here. All I have to do is save the project, close the project, go back into Premiere, and everything gets updated right here in the timeline instantly. So you can see this, it's awesome. And now we have snow in the timeline here in Premiere. So now that we've got special effects and editing done, I want to maybe fine-tune the audio track here. So what we're going to do is we're going to send it to Adobe Audition. We just right-click on it, edit clip in Adobe Audition, and again, everything's happening instantly here. It's now generating all it needs to do. It opens Adobe Audition for me. And now that I'm here in Adobe Audition, I can start editing my sound. I could actually go ahead and clean up any noise that was in there, but it sounds pretty good to me. I don't think there's anything I need to do, but you've got all your effects. You can, maybe we'll add some reverb to it just to give you guys an example. We'll go reverb, studio, and let's send it to a great hall. So pretty simple, pretty cool. You make your changes in here, save them, close it, yes, and go back into Premiere, and it updates the audio for you automatically. As you can see, Premiere kind of becomes your central hub, and everything starts working with Premiere. It's fantastic the way this goes. So now that I've got my video, I've got some special effects, I've done some audio work, let's go ahead and do some color grading. So again, we can just take our sequence and go File, Direct Link to Speed Grade. Yes. It's now going to shut down the project from Premiere, and then you'll see up here it's going to launch Speed Grade in just a moment. Again, I'm not doing anything. All I said was send it to Speed Grade. It's taking care of the rest for me. This is just fantastic the way this works. And now we're here in Adobe Speed Grade. My AE comps have come in just fine, as you can see going on through here. I can make this full screen. You can see there's all the snowflakes and everything. And now I'm ready to go to start playing with the color. So let's take another shot. Maybe this one down here. No, let's do this shot here, and we want to play with the color in this. Now, because I'm on a laptop, I don't have a lot of real estate to work with here, so they've added this full screen button so I can go and see where I'm at. Play, find a nice shot. Okay, escape. Let's try this again, maybe right here. There we go. I think that's the one right there. It's a little bit soft, but that's all right. It'll work for our purposes. Speed Grade is great. It's got keyers. It's got all sorts of different like preset effects and things that we can apply to the footage. Maybe we actually want to try one of those. We'll do Cinematic 2, see what that gets us. Cinematic 1, Cinematic 2. Yeah, we'll try Cinematic 2. So there it is with their looks applied to it. And then I'm going to go ahead still and change it. Let's minimize this. I still want to warm that up a little bit. I'm going a little bit extreme just so you guys can see what's involved with it, how far you can push things. What's cool, we're done here. Hit send back to Premiere. Save it as yes. It closes out Speed Grade, comes back into Premiere, and reloads it all now, adding this new effect called the Lumetri effect. Where is it? There it is, Lumetri. And if I toggle that on and off, you can see it's taken all my color corrections. Any masking you do in Speed Grade, all that stuff will come into Premiere just fine. So again, Premiere really does become your central hub. Once you're done with your video, Control M or File, Export, Movie, and you're good to go to render it out, upload your masterpiece to YouTube, get discovered, make lots of money, or whatever your dream is. I just want to create art for the sake of creating art and have a message to share. But that's all there's to it. That's my workflow. It's so simple. So we start with pen and paper, right? And then we throw it into Adobe Story. Wow, there's so many Adobe products here. So once you're in Story, you write out your script, print out your script, go shoot the movie on an SLR, make sure you get that white balance nailed and your focus, but most importantly, that white balance. That's the biggest mistake independent filmmakers make with these cameras. Get that white balance. Picture styles is another one too that we'll talk about later. When you're done with that, ingest it with Adobe Bridge. You can rename it while you ingest it, which is great. Send it to your external hard drive. From there, bring it into Premiere, do your edit, add your music, send shots off to After Effects, bring them back into Adobe Premiere, send audio off to Adobe Audition, bring it back into Premiere, send the whole thing off to Speed Grade, bring it back to Premiere, and render your master from Premiere. And that's it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Be staying tuned. I've got the winter survival episode of Surviving the Wild coming up here soon. I'm preaching 1 week from now in Eureka, Montana, so I'll have that up here soon. And goodness, I've got a firearm review I want to do. I want to do the film school for you guys. We'll actually go through kind of a film school 101 course that'll be free on YouTube for you, and it covers more in-depth detail on everything. So that's our show. Thanks for watching, and make sure if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe to L Director Vision. See ya.